right, what is up, OVF fam? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. You guys may have noticed that the intro is back to the old one. We are in the process of redoing the intro. The one we currently have just isn't going to work for us. We need to make something more original, so we are going to just run that one for now. And next week, you guys will see a brand new intro for the OVF Thursday night live stream. So definitely keep an eye out. We're excited about that. So what's up, guys? I see you guys popping in. I see the number climbing. As you guys are coming in, let us know you're here live, where you're coming in from. We'd love to hear from you. A little bit of housekeeping before we do dive into tonight's awesome content. And tonight we're going to be talking about the little things that you could be doing, the small things that you could be doing in your life that we have done that swing the biggest doors. And we'll dive really deep into that here tonight and really share with you what that means so that you can really start creating lasting success, happiness, and wealth in your life. But before we do that, like I mentioned, my name is Chris Celeste. I am one of the founders here. With me, as always, is my partner in service, Mr. Liam Weisner. Unmute yourself. Oh, you are unmuted, brother. Go ahead and say what's up.
Yeah, I'm just quiet and still like a statue. All right. Hey, guys, I'm Liam Weisner. I'm the other co-founder here. And tonight we're going to be going really deep into the little things that you can do to have the greatest outcome.
100%. What's up, David? Good to see you on, brother. How is Atlanta, Georgia treating you? I'm all the way out here in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'll tell you right now, it's absolutely gorgeous this time of year here. Windows open, fans on, just absolute paradise. We have a Facebook user, which gives us the absolute opportunity to deal with that little bit of housekeeping that I keep bouncing around from. As you saw before with David, when you're inside of our Facebook group, our private Facebook group, you need to click the link above our talking heads right now and give StreamYard permission for us to see your likeness, see your face, like your picture, which, by the way, that is so dope. It's like a mixture of Five Finger Death Punch and Lost Boys, and that to me is like really dope. But anyway, so we can see your name and see your picture, unlike Facebook user here who has not yet given StreamYard permission, and they look like they're just some witness protection program picture thingy. So do us a quick favor so we can interact with you directly. If you're inside the private Facebook group, you have to click that link. That way we can chat with you. If you're on our YouTube channel, definitely make sure you smash that subscribe button, but you won't have to actually click a link because we'll be able to see you chatting other than that subscribe button. And
it's just the alphabet agency checking up on me, making sure I'm not spilling any beans.
That's it. That's it. Getting a little cold. I hear you. It's one thing I do not miss about the East Coast, especially the Northeast where I'm originally from, is the cold. So, Liam, are you excited about tonight or what, dude? How serendipitous, how insane is it that this is the topic here tonight? How many times did the universe slap us in the face with a sign that this is what we need to talk about here today?
I'm trying to count. I know it's at least 3 or 4 just today alone.
Yeah.
Where everybody is doing the same thing or same mindset that we are. So you already know this is like my favorite topic of all. So
yeah, it's like a universal consciousness that's been ignited. It's funny because we had the amazing opportunity to be featured on the Triggered podcast last night. If you guys haven't had a chance to subscribe, check out that podcast, or even watch or rewatch our episode. You guys can find them on Anchor. You can also find our episode right inside the Facebook group. You definitely take a chance to rewatch that. We shared a little bit about ourselves and dropped a bit of value and shared a bit about our book too. But on that podcast, one of the things that we got to talk about last night was the things that set successful people apart from the people who say they want it but never really achieve it, or the people who, say they want more but never actually take action. Like, what is the big thing? And then here's the big thing too, and you might be able to relate to this also. I know I certainly did in my past. You might be the kind of person who is absolutely okay with putting in the hard work, absolutely okay with putting in the long hours, absolutely okay with doing what it takes. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you are doing the things that are actually going to move the needle forward for you in your life and business. You don't want to be putting in massive amounts of intense work to realize that you are just right where you were before you started, or even worse off, right? And in a lot of cases, that's what happens, is we dive ourselves in blindly, we dump ourselves in passionately, and then the next thing we know, we're burnt out, we're tired, we're giving up, we're quitting. And what we want to talk to you guys about here tonight is literally the key to how Liam and I have been able to grow so rapidly, but yet have it feel so stress-free. And let me ask you guys here really quick, just on a call, get like a pulse for what's going on. Have you guys ever put in a shit ton of work, like just really like dove into a project or a job or a business and like just gave it everything you got to have it go nowhere? Or to quit before, or to give up before you actually hit the goal line because it became overwhelming, because it became too much, because it was just like, how do I even finish this thing? Can anybody relate to that? If you can, put a me in the chat for me real quick and let me know, because what we're going to share with you guys here tonight is going to definitely help you. And the reason I know that is because you're not alone, right? You're definitely not alone. And this is a huge topic. And like Liam and I were mentioning earlier, we started talking about it last night on the Triggered podcast, which, by the way, what's up, Tony? Tony is one of the hosts of that amazing podcast, him and his battle buddy, Eric. And so can you handle Joe real quick? You got that, Liam? OVF team chat. Joe's in there looking for something. But like I was saying, we were chatting with Tony last night about this topic that we're going to be diving into. And then this morning, we're on our OVF team check-in, our roll call basically in the morning that gets us all set on the same page and delivering value for you guys. And without even coming to like having a conversation about it beforehand, both Liam and I were like, we need to talk about this tonight. And he was like, I was thinking the same thing. We completely agreed on it. It was like no discussion needed. That was going to be the topic tonight. And then not even an hour later, I see a post from a really good friend of mine, someone that is a very, very successful business owner and copywriter. And his topic of his post is about the exact same thing. And then there was another one. And then there was a go live. I mean, it was like over and over and over again. There was a YouTube interview that dropped. And it was like this was the main topic over and over and over again. And so can anybody guess, with the exception of maybe Tony, who was probably going to know the answer to this, but can anybody guess what we're going to talk about here tonight? And not just talk about, dive deep into. We're actually going to give you actionable steps to make sure you can implement this into your life and start getting results with it. But does anybody in the chat right now know what we are going to be talking about here tonight? And if you know anything about Liam, you already heard him say it's his favorite topic. No? Nobody? Maybe just a delay? Chicken wings. I love chicken wings. Chicken wings and pizza, my downfall.
No, you forgot beer to go with them.
I cut back, man. Like the last bit of alcohol I had was when we were together. Oh. Nope. Correction. I had 3 margaritas at Adam Holland's surprise birthday party. So I did have a couple.
Yeah, you can't not do it. So.
But I've cut back a lot, quite a lot. That's one of the things they don't talk about being successful is when you got so much time on your hands, you try to fill it with things, and sometimes it's alcohol. But it's what you work hard, you play hard.
I actually use the very thing that we're teaching tonight to stop drinking.
And that's another thing, guys, is like what we're going to share with you guys tonight might seem small and you may have heard it before, but it's monumental. I mean, immense the power behind it and what it can do. And so we're really excited to dive in. Seems like no one knows the answer or no one's brave enough to try to give it a guess, which is fine. Guys, tonight what we're going to talk about is the small things that swing the biggest doors. And that is the ultimate defining factor for your success, your life, and what it looks like. Have you guys ever heard the saying, first you form your habits and then they make you? First, you make your habits, and then they make you. Have you ever heard that? If you have, put a 1 in the comments for me. So what we're going to share with you guys here tonight is simple in concept, but immense when implemented and taken action upon. And one of the things that I want to personally share with you guys here tonight, and I know Liam's got some things that he wants to share with you guys as well, are the 3 core changes, the 3 simple things that I personally changed in my life that actually had nothing to do with business or making money, that allowed me to make more money and create successful businesses time and time again, better than anything I've ever learned. More than any skill set, more than any persuasion technique, more than anything I've ever learned. There are 3 simple things I shifted in my life that have completely changed everything. And I want to share a couple of them with you here tonight, because I think that once we start to dive into them and really I share with you what they were and what I changed them to and the impact it made, you guys are it's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind, because the little things, the little things that seem so inconsequential compound over time. And that's the true power and magic behind what we are going to share with you here tonight, is that it does not take moving mountains on a daily basis for you to create the wealth, the success, the life you're looking for. It takes small, incremental growth on a daily basis that compounds exponentially over time, right? I did not become a paid public speaker 4 years ago when I first started. I had to get better at communicating. I had to show up and have people recognize that I brought value. And then I was able to work it out to be able to speak on stage. And then I was able to work it out to get paid to speak on stage, right? It takes time. It takes time to get to these things. And what we're going to share with you guys here tonight is our bulletproof plan, the one we personally use to making those small incremental changes that truly do compound greatly over time. And if you guys are excited to hear what those things are and how to implement them, drop a 2 in the chat for me. Love your engagement here tonight. Remember, your guys' engagement makes these live streams what they are and will bring the energy. So definitely let us know what you're thinking, what you're feeling. If you have any questions, drop them in there. We're going to share these things with you. But before we do, I want to bring up one last thing for you guys. And again, I love the engagement, guys. Keep it up. Have you ever made a New Year's resolution or set a big, hairy, audacious goal for yourself? What up, Richard Kaufman? Good to see you, brother. How to do it, because the way he wrote it makes sense. But have you ever set a New Year's resolution for yourself? Have you ever set a big, hairy, audacious goal? Have you ever said to yourself, man, starting Monday, I am going to wake up at 5 a.m. no matter what? But the closest you've ever gotten to waking up at 5 a.m. is like 8 a.m., right? Have you ever done that to yourself? Have you ever said to yourself, man, that's it. I'm never drinking again. Or I'm never eating sweets again. Or what's another really common one? But you guys get where I'm going with this, right? It's like these radical changes in our lives and our behaviors. Like, man, I really know that eating all this junk food isn't serving me. So I'm going to make this crazy rule where I no longer eat junk food. I only eat healthy foods, but I don't know what that looks like. And even if you do know what that looks like, ultimately what you are doing to yourself is setting yourself up for failure. Because as human beings, we resist things that are a complete shift from our normal routines and patterns. And so if you failed in the past because you said to yourself, I'm going to be a morning person and wake up at 4 a.m., but the closest you can get to it is 7, or you said to yourself, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, I'm going to stop eating junk food, but you find yourself sneaking a Big Mac in, like, here's the thing. It's okay, because that's human nature. You are fighting programs that run so deep and for so long that you are fighting one of the toughest battles you will ever face. Here's the beautiful part. Here is the silver lining of it all. There's a better way. You can still lose 20 pounds. You can still stop eating sugary things. You can still stop eating junk food. You can still make massive changes in your life. But you just need to start smaller and be patient and be consistent. And that will be the defining factor in whether or not you actually make that change in your life. Think about it this way. If instead of saying to yourself, you know what, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. no matter what. But again, the closest you ever got was 7. Instead, you said to yourself, you know what, I'm going to get up 5 minutes earlier tomorrow. And then I'm going to reward myself for accomplishing that goal. Again, probably don't reward yourself by sleeping in some more, right? You don't want to counterproduct it. But, give yourself that pat on the back. Let yourself feel that joy, that ecstasy that comes when we fulfill on our word. And then do it again. And then do it again. And then do it again. And then after you've done it 4, 5, 7 times, do another 5 minutes. And then the next week, do another 5 minutes. And then the next week, do another 5 minutes. And guess what? After about 3 weeks of doing that, you become a person who wakes up early, because you now self-identify as that person because you've shown yourself proof in your life that you do that. You actually set a goal for yourself that's measurable and accomplishable and doesn't add extra stress and overwhelm, which is the number one reason why people don't hit their goals. Guys, I hope you realize that we're talking about habits right now, but these things apply to every part of your life. If you're not having the relationships you want with your significant other or your children, your habits are why. If you're not making enough money in your life, or you're spending your money faster than you're earning it, your habits are why. If you're not living a healthy life, if you're overweight, your habits are why, right? Like, there's a million decisions that we make every single day, and our habits make those decisions a million times easier and put them on autopilot for us. It's human nature, guys. It's not a bad thing. I'm not telling you you're broken or messed up or anything like that. You are part of the human race. There's nothing different. But what I am also telling you is that, just like myself and Liam, you are not stuck with the way you are. You are not stuck in your habits. Your habits can change. And the biggest thing that's been stopping you from changing them is that you have been taking on too much too soon. Smaller incremental changes. And I am going to share with you what my 3 changes were, but I want to hear from Liam.
I just want to add one thing before you do. One thing that you said about getting up earlier. There's also another trick that I've used to give myself the best chance for success when it comes to changing my time. If you're using your phone for your alarm or an alarm clock, move it. Put it at the other end of the room, so you have to get your ass out of bed to do it. Yeah. That will give you the best chance of success when it comes to something like that. So your environment matters a great deal for setting yourself up for your habits. But one other thing, once you become that person that you identify as a person who wakes up earlier, like Chris had mentioned, then you're going to start doing everything you can to support that. Your subconscious is going to start taking on other habits that support those beliefs that you now have. And it is really freaking wild, because we are stubborn fucking creatures. We really are. We hate to be wrong. Oh, yeah. Well, we can admit when we're wrong, but our subconscious hates it even more. And our subconscious mind will go out of its way to prove yourself right. But typically, not many people are aware that they can change these things, so they're doing detriment to themselves when they're proving themselves right. I don't make enough money. Damn right, you're not gonna.
Yeah.
Not because you don't believe it. I'm going to stay fat. Yeah, you are. You ain't doing nothing. We're going to keep you this way until you start believing otherwise.
Yeah. You're going to stack the evidence for whatever outcome you truly believe in your subconscious, in your heart. Now, you could say to yourself and to the world that you believe one thing, but your actions will always dictate your true belief. Just write that down. Your actions will always dictate your true beliefs. If you do not have proof in your life of something you say you want, it is because you're not performing the correct actions to bring that into your life. Or you just haven't done the right actions consistently enough to bring it into your life. Patience and consistency are a huge part of success, guys. I'm telling you that right now. Not every day is like Scrooge McDuck rolling around in his money vault, okay? Like, it's not every day, but there are days like that, so it's worth it. But what I want to touch on, guys, if Liam, if you're wrapped up there, do you have anything else you want to add?
Okay. Sorry, I didn't want to go too much further into it because I could talk about that for a while.
Yeah. This is your realm of mastery for sure.
You want to talk about the 3 things that you did.
Yeah, and I think what you just mentioned about the environment, which is a huge factor in whether or not you'll be successful, right? We got Richard Kaufman on the line, who, like myself, recovering addict. Probably have a couple other people on here, being that we are a veteran community who have dealt with substance abuse in the past, right? And number one thing that they teach someone in recovery is people, places, and things. Your environment is the number one factor for a relapse, number one factor for you to go and be triggered to go back to a substance. Same thing with habits, right? It's the same psychology. An addiction is a habit, right? It's a form, like a route that we have formed inside of our rituals and habits. So it's the same exact concept. The same exact concept. If you tell yourself and again, I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but this is the last example I'm going to use. If you tell yourself you don't want to eat sugary things anymore, but you're keeping a bag of M&Ms in your fridge, right? The likelihood that you will fall off the wagon and grab some of those M&Ms is incredibly high because it's in front of you. You're making it readily available. It's convenient, to be honest, right? And we're going to act on the things that are convenient to us. And just like Liam was saying, set yourself up for success. That's one of the things that I do to ensure that I'm going to have the best day the next day. Before I go to bed at night, I make sure like my supplements are set out and ready for me next to my coffee. Like I have my coffee ready to rock. So all I got to do is wake up, turn on the water. I use a French press, so the water doesn't have to boil. It's not just to push a button or anything like that. So I, crank the water on. My supplements are right there. I take my supplements, I chug my water, but I set all of that up the night before so that if I walk out of bed groggy, I don't even have to think. I know instinctually I'm going to walk into my kitchen. I'm going to turn my stove on. I am going to grab those supplements and I'm going to put them in my mouth and chug my water. And then I'll go use the bathroom and do all the things that I'm supposed to be doing. But that was one of the things that I started doing. And that's a bonus, honestly, because the other 3 things I'm going to share with you were different. So that was kind of a bonus, setting yourself up for success at the night before. But one of the things that I started doing early in the morning, how many people use their phone as an alarm? Like Liam mentioned, one of the best hacks you can do if you have to use your phone for an alarm and you're struggling to wake up on time, you're like a snooze master, is put it across the room. The second thing that most people suffer from because they use their phone as an alarm is an addiction to dopamine. Like we as a society with social media, we are addicted to dopamine. Every time we turn on this little device and pull up Facebook or any of those social media sites, we get a dopamine blast. We get high. And it's so incremental that it's not like, woo, I just did an oxy or something where you're like falling off the wagon, but your body is stimulated by that. It is a dopamine hit. It is giving you a natural high. And so your body is going to routinely crave that. And what ends up happening, and it's one of the things that I had to personally break for myself, is that the very first thing we do in the morning is we open our damn phones. And not just open our phones, but we open our phones and immediately become consumed and distracted by the day. And instead of being proactive and learning something or building something or doing something that's going to benefit you, you are literally starting your day off in reaction mode. Meaning that you're putting out fires, you're answering questions, you're answering emails, you're giving your time to other people and other things rather than you. And one of the best things that I have ever done in my life is give myself my mornings. For the very first hour I'm awake, I'm learning something. Yeah.
Sorry, before you get into that, there's one thing that they need to understand when they start checking those things when they first wake up. The last 45 minutes to half an hour before you're going to sleep are extremely crucial. That's when your subconscious mind has the least barriers up, and that's when the most programming or reprogramming can be done. And most people are not aware of this. Same thing when you wake up. Your first 45 minutes to an hour, your barriers are not fully back up yet from sleeping. So anything you ingest from the media you're looking at, the negative news, all that stuff is going straight into your core programming. That's why the things that Chris is about to say right now is a perfect replacement for these things, because these are all positive and sets your day up for the best success that you could have. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. And I'm glad that you touched on it because it's exactly what I was about to say too. And that's the thing. It's like when I learned that we are most impressionable and we hold on to and learn the most in that 30 minutes before we go to sleep and when we wake up, I started maximizing that time. Well, actually, listening to Tom Bilyeu and the impact theory really helped me to figure that out. And so when I wake up in the morning, yes, I still use my phone as my alarm, so it wakes me up. But the very first thing I do is I throw on a podcast or an interview or an Audible book that I'm listening to. Like right now, I'm listening to Ask by Ryan Levesque. And so the very first 30 minutes to an hour of my day is me taking care of me, is me working on me. I wake up at 5 and I get on my first call for the day at 6. But what I do between then in that hour gap is I have headphones in my ear. I got my Raycons in my ear, right? I'm listening to, Bluetooth right in my ear. I got something that's educating me, teaching me, informing me, growing me, rather than taking away from me. And I'm taking my supplements. I'm drinking my water. I'm getting things done. I'm not touching my computer yet, right? I have a 6 a.m. meeting. I know that's not going anywhere. It can wait for me. And I tell you this, one of the most liberating things that I ever learned from putting this practice into place is that I was putting way more importance on me than I ever needed to. And let me explain what I mean by that. It's like I was in this mindset that like if I didn't answer emails right away, or if I wasn't available in Messenger the second someone needed me, or if I wasn't like readily available at a moment's notice, that like the world would fall apart, I'd stop making money, people would stop wanting to work with me, all these things. But what I found is the exact opposite. The more I took care of me, the more I was in proactive mode, not reactive mode, the more I was taking down, scheduling, planning, and actually taking care of making sure my income producing activities were getting done, rather than jumping and being there at the call of a hat, my whole life changed. And then nothing negative came from it. I had this like thought in my head that if I wasn't there, that if I wasn't completely attached, that it would all fall apart. And then I detached myself and realized that, hey, that wasn't the case. So the number one thing I wanted to share with you guys here, really, well, not number one thing, but the first thing I want to share with you guys is the first half hour to an hour that I'm awake, I'm not doing anything that does not benefit me, does not grow me as a person, right? I also like to go for walks and do workouts and things like that early in the morning, because I get my blood flowing, I get my brain moving, I get all those juices going so that I can have a much more productive day as I go through it. The next thing I did that's probably going to blow your mind, it's one of the simplest things that any of us can do, but I wouldn't say nobody, but like maybe 3% of the people I know do this, and they're all successful. Every last one of them. Can you guys guess what I'm about to share? It has nothing to do with business. It has nothing to do with education. It has nothing to do with making money, although I guess technically it does. But it has everything to do with you and being an optimal human being. Does anybody know what I'm about to say?
I think I do.
We'll give them 1 minute, and if they don't say it, we'll have you guess, Liam.
I think it's based on one of my favorite motivational videos.
No notifications on the phone. Yeah, that's huge. We can dive into that after we talk about the 3, about some of the tools and resources that we use to keep those notifications at bay. Joe says gratitude, and if you guys 100% like, gratitude is not the answer I was looking for, but it is a very crucial piece of every successful person I know.
That's not what I was going to say either.
No? What was your thoughts?
Make your bed.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. But it is not what I was about to say. I make my bed anyway. I've made my bed since I was like little. Always, every morning. Like even before the military. But guys, again, it's gonna blow your mind. You're gonna be like, yeah, okay, Chris. I tell you, prove me wrong. Do it for a full week and then tell me I'm wrong. Drink water. Drink water. Chug. Right? So, like, guys, here's the thing. I drink 3 of these a day. 3 of these a day. At least 92 to 100 ounces of water every single day. Now, yes, I'm bougie and I drink really expensive water, right? Like, I have a water ionizer in my house. The thing costs several $1,000s. It produces some of the best water in the world. Like, there are 3 places in the world that naturally produce this, and everyone who lives there is healthy and lives to like 100 and something. So it's phenomenal, right? But it doesn't matter. That's not the point of what I'm trying to say. The point of what I'm trying to say is we all have access to water, and you could be drinking way more of it. And again, you might be like, Chris, how does that benefit me? How does that do anything? Drink it for a week. Do me a huge favor. Do yourself and your future a huge favor as well. Drink at least 92 to 100 ounces of water every single day for 7 straight days and tell me your life doesn't get better. Your appetite improves, your energy level improves, your overall health improves, your cognitive abilities improve. Like hydration, coffee berry, and a few other things are like the whole reason that like my TBI does not act up as much as it could.
I just want to say something real quick. You realize that a large reason why people overeat is because they're not listening to their body when they're really just thirsty and craving water. They're not in tune with their body enough where they'll just start snacking and snacking and snacking when the body, all it really wanted was water, and you still snack because you're not giving it that water. That's one thing I wanted to mention. But you know damn well how much water I drink, because when we're doing our builds, I'm getting up to go take a piss like every half hour, and I break the seal, it becomes even sooner.
I just thought you had the bladder of a pregnant lady. That's all.
Well, that too, but shit.
But guys, here's the thing, and I'm not going to harp on it. At the end of the day, you know, you can believe me or not, but I know that if you take me up on this and do it, try to make me eat crow, if you will, you guys will absolutely, it'll blow your mind. Okay, blow your mind. The third thing is another one that we talk about a lot. It's something that we are actually professionals at. It's something that is huge inside of the success community. There isn't a single successful person who will not tell you they do some form of this. And it's simple. I mean, like with technology today and all the websites that exist, you don't even have to spend a fortune to get access to these things. Matter of fact, a lot of times you can get free PDF versions of them. Do you guys know what I'm about to say? The third thing that I did, should say the third thing that I changed, right? So I went from waking up in the morning to and constantly being in reaction mode to switching and learning, right? Drastically improved my life. Now I'm a subject matter expert, multiple areas inside the digital sales and marketing world. I'm sought after to speak on stages. I'm a paid coach. Like a lot of things happen because I started improving me, right? OVF exists because I took this path. Met Liam, right? Like all of these things started happening because I stopped letting my phone control me and I started taking back control of my life, especially my mornings. Then I started drinking more water and then I could think more clearly. I had more energy. I was able to actually be able to do more for longer periods of time and not be able to like feel drunk, like just like a fog was like in my head, which can happen if I don't drink enough water. And the third thing, guys, the third thing that I used to do differently that I do now that completely changed the game for me is I started to read and listen to books about shit I wanted to actually get better at. Some of you guys on this call are business owners, but you have no idea what it takes to run a business. Some of you guys struggle with marketing, but have never once picked up a marketing book. Some of you guys, insert problem. There's a solution out there, and a lot of the times for us, it's in a book. Now I get it. Not everybody learns best from reading. That's why we have workshops and Audible and all these different features and options that you can learn from. But the knowledge is out there. And if you're anything like us, then you'll take it to the next level. You'll read the book. You'll gain the knowledge. You'll implement the knowledge. You'll get some value. You'll see some results. And then you want some more. Then you'll go and you'll pay for a mentor or a coaching program or a course that you can go through on your own because you want more. You want to implement more. You want more results. But it all starts with picking up the knowledge in the first place. It all starts with taking the time and putting in the energy to actually improve. And you don't have to have tens of thousands of dollars to, buy the best mentor in the world to get started. All you got to do is pick up a book like Think and Grow Rich. Pick up a book like The 12-Week Year. Pick up a book like The DD214 Secrets, which if you don't already have a copy, click the link that's going to be below this video and go ahead and claim one now. But here's the thing. It all starts with you taking action, getting some results, and then moving forward because, like we said before, you'll identify with it because there's results in your life that now you can stack to believe the thing you want to achieve. And that's the number one reason why you don't have it now.
So let me know, guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask, who wants to learn how to incorporate reading into their morning routine? Type a 3 in the comments. I'm not sure if that's where you were going with it, but I figured that'd be a good opportunity to take that. There we go. 3 is coming in. All right. So one of the biggest things you want to do is set yourself up for success by setting up your environment. We talked about that at the beginning, right? So when you want to start incorporating your reading in the morning, what do you think you're going to want to do? You're going to want to put the book out where it's one of the very first things you see it. So what we do is something called habit stacking. Something that you already do. We talked about the alarm on the phone. Have the phone on your book or put the book on top of your phone. That starts a habit stack because it's something you're already doing every morning, touching your phone. But by seeing the book itself, that's a cue, right? So whenever you have a cue, that's going to be your trigger to go ahead and start performing this habit a little easier. Because like I said, our brain likes to keep things lazy, simple, and at the least amount of resistance. So by seeing that book and you saying to yourself, I'm a reader, you're not going to believe it at first, but every time you start picking up these things, then you're going to start stacking that evidence to support that belief. And then you will become a reader. But we're going to keep this nice and simple. You want to make this a new habit that you're forming as easy as possible. So we're going to start you off with something ridiculous. You're going to read only 10 pages every morning. And you're going to keep setting up this book on top of your phone every morning or your alarm clock. And then you're going to read those 10 pages every single morning. Eventually, you're going to start to feel how ridiculous it is that you're only reading 10 pages. That's okay. You can read more. But the idea is you want to read the minimum of 10 pages. You want it to be the easiest barrier to entry so that even on your worst day, you wake up, bad mood, you're not feeling good. 10 pages is still not much, right? So you can read those 10 pages. You still stick to that habit. And then that habit's going to become a habit loop. And you're going to feel rewarded every time you do this every single day. And the reward is going to keep you going back to doing it again. That feeling you get of fulfillment and happiness, like, hey, I accomplished this. Yeah, it's silly that it's only 10 pages, but hey, I accomplished it. And I'm doing it now for a week. So it's going to become easier and easier. You want to give yourself another advantage? Start making check marks on your calendar every day that you complete that new habit. That's going to be another reward that you're seeing. Like, hey, look, I've gotten the last week down. That wasn't hard, was it? So you start increasing it. You don't increase things too much. If you start increasing these new habits too much, you're going to rebel. It's going to become too difficult. Remember, we want to keep it easy. So increase it by maybe 5 more pages. Stick with that. If you end up struggling with that, revert back to the 10 pages, but you never don't read. And you can use these principles with literally anything else. Say you want to start working out at the gym. Set up all your gym clothes at the edge of your bed, someplace where you're first going to see them when you get up. Your shoes, everything nice and simple. Keep it as simple as possible. And then you're going to see your clothes in the queues. And then you're going to put your gym shoes on because you see it and your mind's like, hey, that's easy. It's already there. All I got to do is get outside. Once you get outside, you lock that door. You're already halfway through it. Your brain's already like, well, we did the hard part already, which is just getting in motion. So once you start getting into that motion of just even stepping outside in your gym clothes, you're going to be like, oh, well, let's go. It is so simple of a formula. I wish they taught this in school. I really do. Because you can use these same principles for literally anything you want to change for the better or remove. So Chris was talking about the bad foods. If you say you want to start removing those, make the healthier options more readily available. Plain view, you see them all day, right? Make it really difficult where you got to put in that extra work to get the bad foods. Put it up high, lock it in something. Make it so you got to literally go walk outside to the shed or some shit like that to go get it. The harder you make it for yourself, the easier it's going to be to stick to the good habits. Another example, the water. Chris was talking about adding water to your morning routine. Take brand new bottles of water and start placing them around your house. You're going to start seeing those, and those are going to become your triggers and ease so that you can just like, hey, water, I should be drinking more, right? So it's your cue to start drinking more water. So you do it because it's easy. It's right there. You start feeling better. That's a reward. So you're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again because you're being rewarded for it. because you're creating these new pathways. And every time you accomplish a habit, your brain's like, ooh, I like this. I got rewarded for it. So it's almost like every habit's an addiction. So you start wanting to keep doing the good habits. That's why bad habits are dangerous, is because literally all it is chemical dependence from our minds. It is so crazy. That's why I love this book so much, is because you can literally hack who you want to be. It is crazy and profound. You can be whoever you want. And eventually, you're going to be that person if you stick to them.
Sir.
Sorry, I went on a tangent, Chris. That's my favorite part.
No, dude, it was valuable information. Guys, did he just drop some nuggets or what? Let me know in the comments. Was that, I mean, I was sitting here in awe. Like, that's some gold nuggets for sure. Tony says he loves it. So let's ask you guys real quick. If you could change one thing, one habit right now, what would you change? We're all self-aware, even if we're in self-denial, but we're all still self-aware. You know, so let's hear from you guys.
One thing they can do is tomorrow, they can start by making a list of their full day so they can do an audit. Write down literally everything you do in the day, how much time you're spending on your phone in that moment, what you're doing on your phone. And then once the day is over, that whole list, you're going to go through and do a red mark, a negative mark, or a positive mark. Is it a good habit or is it a bad habit and it's time wasting where you're not being productive at all? So that is one thing you can do. And once you identify these habits that you have, because you'll find yourself doing things every single day. You guys ever have those times when you're driving home from work and you're really tired and all of a sudden it's like you just come to and like, how the fuck did I get this close to home already? Right? Most of the processes that we do every single day are habits that are automated. We only have a small percentage that we actually make choices for. So that's why fixing your core habits are the best possible things you could do. Once you identify the good habits, start reinforcing them. It's like that whole thing with the wolf. Every time you feed the good habits, you're voting for the person that you want to be. Every time you do the bad habits, you're voting for the person that you're going to end up being if you're going to keep going with the bad habits. You got a choice. Everyone's like, oh, I'm just stuck in my ways. Bullshit. You've got no excuses anymore because you now know that you can fix it. It's just up to you to be willing to do it. You have no more excuses.
That age-old saying, well, that's just the way I am. No, that's the way you're choosing to be. That's really what you're saying. That's the way I choose to be.
It's a cop-out.
Yeah.
I know that might hurt some people.
We're not here to coddle you. We're here to help you grow. And to help you grow requires truth. And sometimes the truth is uncomfortable. It's not my saying by any means. A mentor of mine says it quite often, so it stays with me. The truth, sometimes fair. No, damn it! Now because I want to say it, it's not going to come to me. All right, I'll think of it. It'll come to me
as soon as we get off the call. It will, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want you guys to feel. I do want you guys to feel bad because I want you to take action and change it for yourselves. But at the same time, I want you to realize that Chris and I were in the exact same shoes you were in, but we made the choice to change things. So we actively work on ourselves. The more you work on yourselves, the better you become, the better everyone around you becomes, and the more successful you will become. It all starts with you. Mine says the most important thing when it comes to entrepreneurial, because when things get tough, you're the only one that you can depend on to keep yourself going through. Do you want to be the person stopping 5 inches away from striking gold? Or do you want to be the person that pushed through everything to get to it? Because the only difference between someone who's failed and given up and walked away and someone who succeeded is the person who succeeded stuck through the hard times. Eventually, you're going to get through to the good times as long as you keep working on yourself and you don't give up.
Yeah. Yep.
And that starts with that morning routine.
So, results. Often harsh, but always fair is how the saying goes. So, based on your results will always dictate what you truly wanted. And so, not always easy to swallow or easy to see the truth in it, but at the end of the day, it is always fair based on the choices you've made. That's one of the things that always really stuck with me. You know, feedback to me has become one of the greatest tools ever. If you guys have not had the opportunity to read a book called The Four Agreements, I highly recommend you pick it up. It's a very short read. But what it did was it allowed me to implement some universal laws into my life that have drastically changed the way I receive input from others and take action on it.
That's free in the group, isn't it?
I don't think so. It was one of our level 2 things we did when we first launched level 2, not the free group. You can double check. Yeah, that'd be great. But one of the things that it taught me was that not to take things personally. And when you're working online, that's kind of hard to do, right? Because everyone's got an opinion. They try to attack you. They don't know you, right? We all deal with it. But one of the things that I learned is don't take things personally. And majority of the time when someone is angry or upset or frustrated, it's because of something they experienced in their life that reminds, like the situation they're in reminds them of it. And so they're acting out based on previous experience, even though the new experience might not be the same. Right?
Because that's a habit they started.
It's a habit, right? Everything we're talking about here tonight. And so for me, I just look at it from a logical standpoint, emotion removed. It's not personal. This person is giving me information. What I choose to do with this information is up to me. Now, if this person knows nothing about me, has never met me in my life, I've never worked with them, and they want to tell me that I'm a loser, that I don't know what I'm talking about, that I'm a liar, like if they want to say those things to me or about me, that's fine. That's their opinion. But I'm not going to take them seriously because, again, I'm not taking it personally, and they know nothing about me. They don't how can they even come to those conclusions? But when you run into like different scenario, right, would be feedback from somebody who I respect, who's in the trenches with me, who knows where I'm going, knows how to get there, has been through the same struggles. Feedback from that person is very different, and I will take that for the information that it is, and I will correct course, and I will adjust my life so that I'm showing up the best possible way I believe I should be, right? But it's all just feedback. And one of the things that we do as a society, and we're in OVF, we teach you to get away from this, is that we would rather listen to the opinions of the 10 people closest to us, who have no experience, no knowledge, no know-how, and no drive in the areas that we're looking to grow. Yet we will completely ignore the 10,000 people out there who are screaming for our help. Let that sink in for a second. We will take the opinions, the feedback, and the information from people who have no idea what we are doing or how to do what we do. And we will not even listen to the tens of thousands of other people out there who are literally screaming for our help. Why? It's an epidemic. It's a pandemic, the real one.
You want to know what the hard truth for me was? Realizing every time I said, "You pissed me off," realizing that it wasn't them. It was me all along.
Yeah.
That was hard for me. I still struggle with it. I'm not perfect. I still have trouble with that. But I do have the sense where I can stop myself and then walk away, calm down, and collect myself, and then go back into it. But that was a really hard one for me personally. And the same thing you were talking about with those 10 people. When we first started getting hate for what we're doing with OVF, I focused purely on the wrong things. I focused on the 3 people that had so much hate for us versus the thousands of people that we've helped.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
and once Chris put it into perspective, like, are you really letting a couple of people ruin this for you where you're doubting the thousands you've already helped? And I was like, well, when you put it like that, it kind of makes sense, right? It's like, duh, what the fuck? But it's not until you experience these things for yourself and you have your own aha moments when you do this, because you are going to have those moments where you're going to feel that hate for whatever you're doing. And I just want you guys to learn from everybody else's mistakes and realize, don't focus on that negative shit. Focus on the good you've already done and just stay with the good you've done. Chris knows I struggled with that a lot.
And Tony, yeah, I mean, yes, I do, brother. And that was a struggle for me too when I first got started. You know, when you put yourself out there and you share your life and you're vulnerable and you want to help people and people attack you for that, it's rough. It's rough at first, for sure. And again, like I said, I had to learn to not take things personally. That book was a huge factor. But yeah, at first too, like I would get bent out of shape for like days when someone would tell me, you know, oh, what is this, a pyramid scheme? Because I was doing affiliate offers back then. And unless you know what an affiliate offer is, most people just clump it into network marketing, which everybody and their grandmother associates with a pyramid scheme. And so now you got this like this asshole who will show up on your ad or your page and be like, this guy's a scam. He's just trying to get you inside of a pyramid scheme. And meanwhile, you're like selling physical products that like give people water and stuff. It's like, it's weird, right? It's weird, but you get over it, right? Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, if your why is big enough, nothing will stop you. Like, that's why it's the very first thing we teach every student we work with. It's the biggest thing that we harp on. It's the thing you'll probably hear us talk about a million times until we're blue in the face, is if you do not have a good why, if you do not start there, which is why it literally is the first step in the book. You know, if you don't start there, the very first person who tells you you're an asshole, you're going to give up. Very first person who tells you that you're a scam artist or you're ripping people off or how dare you own an internet business, like whatever. Like, dude, I've heard some crazy things. No joke. When I first got into this industry, one of the people that I had met, this woman from Canada who was doing really, really well with the same product that I was just getting started with, her family called an intervention for her. No joke. Called an intervention for her because there's no possible way she was making that much money without selling drugs or being a prostitute.
I thought you almost fell over.
No, I'm just like, imagine how dumbfounded that family was when she pulled up her fucking internet business and was like, no, guys, like, I sell water ionizers and I get to travel the world and make a bunch of money because of it. And it was just like, people just cannot wrap their mind around the internet produces money for people. Like, you can make money from the magical internet. It's like, nope, that's a scam. Nope, can't do that. They got to be selling drugs or weapons, or they're on the black market. That's what it is. They're selling them unlocked fire sticks.
I wonder if people thought that for the original advertisers in newspapers and magazines too. Like the very first ones, the pioneers of advertising in newspapers and stuff, is like, I wonder if they had those problems too. Like, can't be real. You can't be making that money selling ads in newspapers.
Yeah. It's true. There's always going to be doubters. There's always going to be people who are like, right? So think about the 4-minute mile, right? Roger Bannister. We literally, as a human species, collectively said that was impossible. No one can do that. And then the minute Roger Bannister did it, everyone else started doing it. It's like we put these glass ceilings and false beliefs on ourselves based upon other people's abilities to achieve things, and we never allow ourselves to fully reach our potential. So crazy. But at the end of the day, I love saying that. I'm going to do my best to cut it out more from what I say, because I notice I say it a lot. We are success breeding machines from the moment we are born and all the way up until the moment we reclaim it, right? Like, it never goes away. We just allow ourselves to be beat down by society, by parents, teachers, religion, blah, blah, the news, whatever you want to, like, life traps us inside of a box that we were never meant to be in the first place. And the minute you break out of that box and start living in a world of abundance again, you're just like, you're on a whole nother plane. You're on a whole nother level. And you can't understand why so many people in this world still want to live as victims and want to give their control to the government or to a disability check or to a not disability check, but a workman's comp check, right? Disability is out of your control. If you got hurt, get what you deserve. But if you got laid off and you're just collecting this like a check, that's a choice, right? That's a choice. You can go and do more, be more. We always have a choice. Even me on disability, I even had a choice to go and be more, right? So there's always the option. Everything that we do in our lives is a direct, like everything that we have in our lives is a direct correlation to the choices that we make. And so if you don't have what you want, make better choices. And it all comes down to your habits. So hopefully we provided you guys some actionable steps here tonight, some true value around the subject of habits, and that you guys can start implementing and start seeing some results inside of your life very, very, very soon. That's really all we have for you guys here tonight. I know we went a little bit over because we got real excited and passionate, but that's just who we are. And you guys show up for that. So you get what you get, right? You get what you signed up for. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you all for your engagement. It's been phenomenal watching all the comments dropping in and all the engagement here tonight. For you guys who stuck with us all the way to the end, thank you, thank you, thank you. We really do appreciate all of your time, and cannot wait to share with you guys some more amazing stuff next Thursday. So with that being said, if you have not grabbed a copy of the DD214 Secrets book, go ahead and do so. It is your first steps to success. It will be the foundation for everything that you build moving forward, whether you have a business already or not. If you really want to create success for yourself, that is where you need to start. That's it for me, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your night. Have a fantastic weekend. I'm going to shut up now. Very rare, I know. Liam, take us.
Thank you for spending your Thursday night with us. It shows that you're dedicated to changing. So let's hope you stick with that same mindset, because sorry, not sorry, but I woke a lot of you guys up already tonight, and I'm putting that responsibility on you because now you know, and it's your choice whether you take action on it or you continue being comfortable being miserable. So with that being said, good night, guys. And I hope to see you guys changing your morning habits from now on.
Deuces.